Hey everybody, Professor Klein here, and I got a really important video for you on the muscles of mastication. And I'm going to be using the whiteboard as well as these models down here because I've got to teach you guys and tell you about how to best remember the muscles of mastication and their actions. So continue watching and you'll find out a great way to learn these things. Let's get started. All right, first off, let's look at the models that we have and name these things first. And if I'm looking here on this model, you can see on the side, there's a big muscle up here and a big muscle down here. This muscle is called the temporalis. It's been cut off because that's where the model cuts it off, but it would attach up to the temporal line of the temporal bones. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen so you can see the full temporalis and where it goes to, because it's originating up here, but it's inserting down on the mandible. You kind of lose it there, but it does reach the mandible. Same thing with the masseter, originates up here and then inserts down on the mandible. And that's really a key common theme with all the muscles of mastication, is that they insert on the mandible. The mandible, it's your jawbone. See this jawbone right here? That's your mandible. Other model though, can you see them? You definitely can. Temporalis, and now we can see that full view of the origin of the temporalis up here. Merging down, going deep to the mandible. Here's the masseter. Pound for pound, the strongest muscle in the body. The last two I want to tell you about would be underneath. Now this model doesn't show it. What it does show are all these other facial expression muscles. Facial expression muscles. I've got another video on the facial expression muscles, but this one's for muscles of mastication. Over here, this one is pretty cool in the fact that you can see a few things inside. If I turn it upside down here, you can see a little bit of the lateral pterygoid. Lateral pterygoid. Now, this is a tough one to visualize, so I'm going to put something up on the screen so that you can see the lateral pterygoid right now. And if you got a lateral, you probably got a medial. In this case, you definitely have a medial pterygoid. They are branching off of the medial and lateral pterygoids in the skull. So I happen to have a skull right here. And when you flip that skull over and you come down, you get the palatine bone, some maxilla, which makes that hard palate, or the roof of your mouth right here. So if you're thinking, where am I at? This is the roof of the mouth. Down in here would be the perpendicular plate and the vomer. Vomer's here, perpendicular plates up here of the ethmoid bone. Now also notice you'll see these two ridges on either side. We got a medial part and a lateral part. And if we were to tape on the medial and lateral pterygoid, it would be connected to that medial pterygoid process for this medial pterygoid muscle, and then out to the mandible. See how that's the mandible? And then the blue would be attached to the lateral pterygoid process as well as the mandible, but this one's special. It actually wraps up and underneath. Let me flip this around for you. Whoops, up and underneath. Here we go. Up and underneath the head of the mandible. All right, but that's only half this video. The other half is to really dive into the actions of the muscles of mastication. Now, mastication means chewing. So when you're moving your jaw up and down and chewing, that's mastication. And each one of these is going to have several functions to it. So how do you know what muscle does what actions? Here's how. Okay, here we are on the whiteboard. I'm going to grab the markers and talk you guys through this. And there's a little bit of math, a little bit of physics involved here. And the first thing you need to know is that a muscle has an origin and an insertion. Now, the origin is the attachment point for a muscle that's attached to the bone or bony landmark that is less movable. Less movable. It's more stable, and it's not going to move when a muscle pulls on it, because muscles pull. They don't push, they pull on the bones. Now, origin's not really going to move, but the other bony attachment will move, and that's called the insertion. The insertion is on the bone that's going to move. It's a more movable part. So something like the temporalis, if you look up here, the origin would be the temporal bone. And if I bring this back in, right up here would be the origin. The mandible would be the insertion. So if I wrote on here, I wrote O, 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 a bunch of O's, that means that's the origin. Down here on the mandible, I'll put a big I. That means when you pull on the temporalis muscle, or that muscle contracts and it pulls both directions, the insertion is what's gonna move. And that's like the skull. If I had the skull here, that's like if the mouth was open, closing the mouth would pull on this mandible. The mandible moves, not the temporal bone. So think mandible, mandibular movement for all these muscles of mastication. That's like opening and closing your jaw or your mouth. So how does this work? Well, I said muscles pull, but they only pull in the direction of the muscle fibers. So if the muscle fiber was like my arm, I could only pull it this way or pull it the other way. And let's say my hand is the mandible, my shoulder is the temporal bone, I would pull it this way. That's what's going on here. Pulling in the direction of the muscle fibers. So you could say, follow the fibers. Credit to Athlean X for that phrase, but he says follow the fibers. And if you follow them parallel, they'll tell you what the action is. So if I look here, what's parallel to the temporalis? Well, if the line would be drawn this way, and it's an arrow going from the insertion towards the origin, because that's the pull that's going to be going on that mandible. But it's not quite vertical and it's not quite horizontal. Well, wait a minute. What are the actions that can occur with the jaw? Here they are. I'll get real close here. When you open the jaw at the TMJ joint, which this is the TMJ joint, I'm moving in and out here. When you open the jaw, that is depression of the mandible, or mandibular depression. When you close the jaw, that is mandibular elevation. Down, up, vertical movement. However, you can protrude, and I'm gonna really take this out of the joint socket. Hopefully this never happens to you, but if this happens, this is protrusion. You can do a little bit of it, but hopefully not this much. The mandible is traveling anteriorly. Posterior movement horizontally of the mandible is called retraction. Think of it retracting back into the joint socket. So depression, elevation, protrusion, retraction. From those four, we can make a graph. And the graph can look something like this. The up arrow would be elevation. I wrote this out for you here, elevation. The down arrow would be depression. And we're always talking about that TMJ, temporal mandibular joint, mandibular movement. And let me get the mandible in here for you. Okay, so this is the mandible right here. Take it up, elevation, take it down, depression. How about take it anteriorly? This is anterior over here. Well, that would be the protrusion. So protrusion going this way, which leaves posterior displacement of the mandible, posterior this way, and we would call that retraction. So you got retraction, protrusion, elevation, depression. Hang with me here because we're about to get to this first muscle, the temporalis. Now if you look up the arrow is going just about this way, and I can draw another temporalis on here if you guys want. It's got muscle fibers coming down just about this direction here. But the main thing to look at is the arrow. The arrow is traveling this way. What does that mean? That means there's a vertical and a horizontal component for each of these muscles of mastication. The temporalis will pull vertically into elevation and posteriorly into retraction, because the arrow is halfway between elevation and retraction. So temporalis does elevation and retraction there. Okay, pause and rewind and watch it again if that didn't make sense, because we're about to do the same thing with the other three muscles. And the next one is the masseter. The masseter, if I come over here, the average of these muscle fibers, what is the average direction? It's right about this. You guys see that arrow I just drew right in the middle? Let me maybe give you a better arrow here. Here we go. It's going up this way. So if I come over here, this is like the masseter. Well, the masseter, arrow in between elevation and now protrusion. So the masseter does elevation and protrusion when it contracts. 2 out of 4 complete. On to number 3, and actually I like this one the best because this is the same as what we just saw with the masseter. This is the medial pterygoid. And the medial pterygoid, the muscle fibers are going from insertion to origin up here. And again, origin would be in on the medial pterygoid process. So I'm exaggerating things here a little bit so you can see that arrow. It's going like this. Let me hold my hand here. Come over to the masseter. The masseter is also going like that. So I'm going to draw pretty much the same arrow, and if I could overlap them, I would. Pretty much the same arrow, but it's a smaller muscle. So I like to say, or actually one of my grad assistants taught me this. He said, the medial pterygoid is the little brother of the masseter. What do little brothers do? They're smaller, they're younger, and they mimic their older siblings, right? Sometimes annoying. I don't know if you have younger siblings, but we gotta love them, right? We gotta love them. So the masseter is the big muscle that does elevation and protrusion. The medial pterygoid is the smaller muscle doing the same actions. 3 out of 4 complete. We're on to the final one. Lateral pterygoid. It's a little bit different, so I'm going to use some tape to show you guys this one. But here is the lateral pterygoid. Coming from the lateral pterygoid process over to posterior behind the head of the mandible. It's key to know that this is wrapping up and around the head of the mandible. So if I had this mandible here, and this was the lateral pterygoid coming across, see how it wraps behind the head of the mandible right here? Wraps around. What that's going to do is when I pull this, see when I pull this, the mandible goes into depression. That's what's going on here. So you're gonna get your arrow, you're gonna have it going this way. So it's actually gonna be in this quadrant, which means it's doing depression and protrusion. So it's definitely doing protrusion. You pull it this way, it's gonna protrude the mandible forward. But the depression one is the tough one. But again, look at this right here. And when you see this and you pull, I would pull and it would rotate it downward into depression. So pull it down into depression for the lateral pterygoid. So let me write the names on here for you. So you've got where these are at. Temporalis is up in this quadrant. We've got the Masseter right here. And we've got the medial pterygoid. These are all popping up on your screen for you. And finally, the lateral pterygoid down here. This has been the muscles of mastication video, how to identify them and the actions. Like this video, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. The more followers I get and likes and comments, the more I'm motivated to do this. I want to provide free human anatomy teaching on a college level. This is at a university preparing pre-medical students, physical therapy students, occupational, PA, dentist, doctor, you know, whoever it might be going into the professional medical and health fields. I want to provide you guys with my teaching for free as much as possible. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all that you do for me to motivate me. And this concludes this video. Thanks for watching.